Good morning, brother and sister. Good morning. Good to see you. Thank you so much for inviting me to come today to speak. I feel I came to kind of an end of a chapter in my outreach in Watford. That's why I felt I wanted to conclude this. I wanted to share with you my experience of reaching out to Muslims in Watford for now over 21 years. So I've chosen the topic of Sarah and Hagar because I think this is quite a central topic to resolve conflicts. So I choose some Bible verse in Genesis 16, 1-4, which explain the situation at that time with Abraham and Sarah and Hagar. So Genesis 16, 1-4. No, Sarai, Abraham's wife, had borne him no children, but she had an Egyptian slave named Hagar. So she said to Abraham, "The Lord has kept me from having children, so go sleep with my slave. Perhaps I can build a family through her." Abraham agreed to what Sarah said. So after Abraham had been living in Canaan 10 years, Sarai, his wife, took her Egyptian slave Hagar and gave her to her husband to be his wife. He slept with Hagar and she conceived. And then in Genesis 21, 1-20, it says, "Now the Lord was gracious to Sarah, as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah what he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore a son to Abraham in his old age, at the very time God had promised him. Abraham gave the name Isaac to the son Sarah bore him. When his son Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him as God commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Sarah said, "God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me," she added. Who would have said that Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? Yes, I have borne him a son in his old age. The child grew and was weaned, and on the day Isaac was weaned, Abraham held a great feast. But Sarah saw that the son whom Hagar the Egyptian had born to Abraham was mocking. And she said to Abraham, "Get rid of that slave woman and her son, for that woman's son will never share in the inheritance with my son Isaac." The matter distressed Abraham greatly because it concerned his son. But God said to him, "Do not be so distressed about the boy and your slave woman. Listen to whatever Sarah tells you, because it is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned. I will make the son of the slave into a nation also, because he is your offspring." Early the next morning, Abraham took some food and a skin of water and gave them to Hagar. He set them on her shoulders and then sent her off with the boy. She went on her way and wandered in the desert of Beersheba. When the water in the skin was gone, she put the boy under one of the bushes. Then she went off and sat down about a boy shot away, for she thought, "I cannot watch the boy die." And as she sat there, she began to sob. God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven and said to her, "What is the matter, Hagar? Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Lift the boy up and take him by the hand, for I will make him into a great nation." Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. So she went and filled the skin with water and gave the boy a drink. God was with the boy, and he grew up. He lived in the desert and became an archer. While he was living in the desert of Paran, his mother got a wife for him from Egypt. That's the reading. Well, I will not give you a Bible study, a lesson, because I think William is much better than me on doing that. But what I would like to do is to make us realize that the conflict that we see in the Middle East the origin came to that division in Abraham's family. And specifically, the conflict started with two women. So that's the point where it all started. So one woman, Sarah, and her son Isaac, eventually from them came the Judeo-Christian faith, and Hagar and her son Ishmael. Then from her came the Islamic world. So today I would like to tell you about my experiences and my outreach to the Muslim community in Watford. I don't know if you remember, but true fathers say that the final conflict in God's providence will be with the Muslim world. I could try to find the quote, but I didn't know where it was. But anyway, I remember that quote. And Father said that we either manage to bring reconciliation between the two, or if we cannot succeed, then there may be a physical confrontation. So that's what I remember Father saying. Then in 2001, I think you all remember the 9/11. That was quite a turning point, quite a scary time. We were all shocked what happened. I remember watching on television, seeing the plane crashing into the World Trade Center. We thought, oh, maybe it's the end of the world. Or what will happen? How we can go on after this? What will happen? And it was very scary for the stability of peace in our world. So that time, in 1999, I joined the Watford Interfaith Association. And so I was a member there, but as a unificationist, people were a bit worried about who I was and everything. But I determined to stay, and I was mostly like serving tea and coffee because nobody wanted to do this kind of thing. So, but then what happened is that in 2002, Watford Interfaith decided to do an event about women's contribution to peace in our world. There are 3 speakers. I think there were 2 and 1 woman. But that woman canceled, like 2 or 1 day very close to the time. So they were short of 1, especially speaking about women peace, and there's only men speaking. That didn't sound quite right. So then they asked me to speak. So I had the opportunity to speak. And then I could speak about the Women Federation for World Peace. And I mentioned about the Bridge of Peace, the ceremony that we do to bring reconciliation with people from difficult background, conflicting background. And for some reason, at that time, I always thought I want to do something after 9/11, but it was never clear. So then, at that time, I got strong inspiration, and I spoke very boldly. And I said, I will do a bridge of peace ceremony between Christian and Muslim women, a sisterhood ceremony, bringing them together. And I declared that at that meeting. So then after that, I thought I have to do it now. So the thing, I didn't know any Muslim, didn't know any Muslim woman, nothing. So, but what happened at that meeting, there was a Muslim woman sitting just in front of me when I was speaking. So I thought after the meeting, I went to speak to her and I asked, can you help me to reach out to the Muslim woman in our town? And she said yes. And so we make an appointment to see each other a bit later. But what happened is that in between, one of my sons got very not well at all and was admitted to hospital. And the day my son was admitted to hospital was the day of the appointment. So I was really struggling with that because the situation was quite life and death situation. So, so I thought, should I stay in the hospital? But my husband was with me and he told me, Françoise, you have to go. You made that commitment, you have to go. So I decided I will go. So I thought I need to pray before to get a bit, to overcome this kind of situation. So I went to the hospital chapel, and when I was I prayed and I asked God for guidance. I heard a man in the background praying in a foreign language, and I found out it was a Muslim man. And then when I finished my prayer, I looked in front of me, and I saw a Quran and a Bible next to each other. So I knew God wanted me to go ahead. So I went to my appointment, and together with that Muslim woman, I started. The interesting thing, her name was Tasneem Samuel. So she was a Shia Muslim, and her husband was Jewish. So it was quite interesting. So anyway, with her help, we worked together. And at that time, I used to always meet our sister, with Women Federation sister, and we had a little meeting, like maybe once a week, with Chicago and Monica Bateman, and we met each other. And then together with them, and then the Women Federation got involved, and then also I used to volunteer with somebody called Mr. Zarosh, who was from Religion for Peace. I was helping in his office at that time, so he was very interested that I decided to bring together Muslim and Christian women. So I got help from a bit everywhere to do this. And then, eventually, we did the Bridge of Peace, a sisterhood ceremony, on the 2nd of March, 2003. And that was just before Iraq war. So it was a very successful event. And there was a lot of women, I don't know how many, but at least 40 women participated in the Bridge of Peace between Christian and Muslim, 20 Christian, 20 Muslim. I think Ruth, you was there at that time. So it was, and the mayor of Watford was there. She was very interested. She had gone before to a sisterhood ceremony of Women Federation a few years before. So she was very positive towards Women Federation. So she was there, and that Muslim sister with whom I started the Bridge of Peace, Tasneem, she also, we did a dance together at the end, which was quite interesting. A dance with bringing Christian, Muslim together, and Jewish. So we had to dance, dancing together with the music, with all the song from the Jewish faith, the Christian and the Muslim. It was quite amazing. And I remember seeing that, look into the window, and like a light coming through the window. And I felt like God was there, absolutely. I think that was very a goosebumps event. And then what happened is that in fact my son stayed 40 days in the hospital when I was preparing, and on the last day of the 40 days he got out of hospital. So I could feel that it was quite a powerful thing that happened there. So, and the same year, in 2003, True Father started MEP, and ministers were going to the Holy Land. And that time, I decided to go. So I went with one of my peace sisters. We went to the Holy Land. And so I witnessed the time when they gave a crown to Jesus, Muslim, Jew, and I think Druze, so if I remember. So it was quite, and the mayor of Watford, who was part of the Bridge of Peace, came at that time too. So we were there. So we were witnessing, going from Watford, we were there in Jerusalem. So after that, the ladies of the Bridge of Peace, we continued to meet. And we had talks about the dignity of women, family values, and all kind of topics. But I would like to tell you one experience also that struck me quite a lot. Is that one time, that time Sharifa, who was part of the first Bridge of Peace, she invited us to go to an Eid celebration. And as we were going, so all the peace sisters, we were invited to go. Then I asked Sharifa, would you like me to bring you something for the Eid celebration? Maybe a cake or some fruit or anything that you would need. And then she said, oh, no, I'm okay with that, but can you bring me water? And then it brought me back to the story of Sarah and Hagar. You know, Hagar was in the wilderness, the desert, and she didn't have water anymore. So God showed her where she could get water. And Sharifa was asking me, can you get me some water? Wow. So I brought the water. So that was one experience. When I start to click, maybe what I'm doing, do I start to restore that relationship, Sarah, Hagar, what is going on? So, and also the Muslim woman came to me and said, we need liberation. Liberation, they were asking. And by our relationship with the Muslim woman, we could see that bit by bit they were more confident, they were talking, they were getting more open, and you could see real friendship developing. So it was quite amazing. Yeah. So in 2004, many of Muslim sisters or peace sisters, they became ambassador for peace. So, and then in 2005, at that time, there was a new chaplain in town, so I decided to visit him. And I decided I will go with a Muslim and a Christian lady to visit him, to show him what I'm doing in Watford. So I went there, and that time, by talking with the chaplain, we decided to do an event that would bring the whole town of Watford together. So not just the Christian, the Muslim woman, or just the woman. We want everybody there. So we brought the whole town together in an amazing day of celebration. We had people from all the different communities coming together. So it was quite an amazing experience. And that gave the Muslim women participate in the Watford celebration. So it was good for them to be having a relationship with other community, opening their eyes, that we are not so bad. We have some prejudice or they all watch those weird movies, and they also, you know. So then, it's helped, and the Sharifa became she became the vice chair of the. I could not believe how she changed. She was so excited about that event. We did what for celebration for basically 16 years every year. And it brought the Watford community all together. And it was very beneficial for those Muslim women. Then in 2007, I got a phone call from the mayor. And she called me and she said, Françoise, I have some money for you for your Bridge of Peace. And I said, can you come to the town hall? So I went to the town hall, and I found out that she had some money from the Home Office for a program called Prevent. I don't know if you heard what Prevent, to prevent terrorism, basically, violent extremism and terrorism. And it was the first time the government started, so it was a pathfinder. So she told me, Françoise, I got £23,000 for your Bridge of Peace. 23,000. So I thought, wow, that's a bit too much. At that time, we were just three sisters. Chicago, Monica, and me. So, and she wanted me to organize something that, to help to bring good communication in Watford between the Muslim community and the Christian. Also, I forgot to tell you that, when I started the Watford celebration, it was September 2005. And you know that date? You know what is that date? It's when UPF started. Father decided to start UPF. So we had quite a bit of money, and we managed, with that money we went to visit St. Alban Cathedral with the Muslim lady. We could rent a van and we went there, and it was quite amazing. See all these Muslim women, with their hijab and, the traditional clothes in the church, in the cathedral. And then there was a time they asked me, François, it's time for a prayer. We need a place to pray. Then I spoke to the canon of the cathedral, and he was a bit lost. I think he never found Muslim women like that in a cathedral asking to pray. And because the canon didn't respond, they didn't wait. They went on the floor, on the stone floor, cold of the cathedral, and they were doing their prayer. So it was an amazing experience for them. They say, François, we would never dare to go in a cathedral or something like that, but you gave us that opportunity. And it opened their eyes, and it really helped them. So that's awesome. So another thing that I did is in 2009, there was an interface network who decided to do the National Interface Week for the whole country. So that time I suggested to Watford Interfaces, I was eventually they admitted me to their committee, which was, before that they, I don't know for that, it's a Mooney or Unification, so, but in the end, it was a Muslim man who told the committee, I want François to help us with our finance. I want her to be our treasurer. He came to me, asked me for that. I didn't much understand about finance. And he asked me a few times. Then in the end I accepted. So because of that, I became part of the committee. So then at the committee meeting, I suggested that we do an interfaith pilgrimage, that we go all over the town. Because in Watford, you can walk easily from one place to another. So in one afternoon, you can go to a synagogue, a mosque, a church, Catholic Church, Church of England, Sunni, Shia mosque, all kind of Gurdwara. You can do all that. And my peace sister came with me. And I always remember the face of Shaifa when she came to the synagogue. She was so amazing. Say, oh, Françoise, I never would dare to go to a synagogue. And she was very interested. And then they show, the person at the synagogue showed the Torah, and she was looking and comparing with the, and it was quite amazing to see that, how she, and then she realized that her neighbor is a Jewish person. So then, and in fact, he's the kind of the taking care of public relations. So she became really more friendly with her neighbor from that. And then in 2015, all this, they were bombing in London, all they were before. And the mayor was trying to bring all the religious leaders together, but she didn't succeed. She did 1 or 2 events, but it didn't work. But then later on, a Muslim man went to speak to her, and he wanted to redo that again. But then what happened? And she said, oh. And she called me, the mayor called me and asked me, this Latif, he came and he said that he wanted to do again that bringing all the religious leaders of Watford together. Last time I did it, it didn't work, they all think about themselves. And she was negative about it. And I told the mayor, well, this is a Muslim man who is coming to you, speaking about bringing the people, the religious leaders together. So I think we have to do this. And he said, okay, go ahead, we'll see how long it lasts. And I went to the committee, Watford Interfaith, and also they say, but I supported the Muslim man. And then eventually we did it. And we had the inauguration of Watford Faith Leader Forum. And then the chair of WIFA said, I think, Françoise, you should be part of them. And I say, I'm not a religious leader. I don't have a congregation. That's not my place. But he said, no, you have to be there. Okay, then I said, okay, I'll go there, but I cannot say anything. All those big religious leaders, they are very good at talking. I'm not that great. But okay, so I went to the mosque because it was inaugurated at the mosque. And and then they decided, the religious leaders decided, we are coming together because we want to be friends before we need to be friends. So that was quite amazing experience. So in 2017, after doing Preach of Peace for quite a while, I decided to give the Peace Arch to the Peace Garden, because I didn't use it anymore. So I brought it to the Peace Garden. And but in 2020, the Peace Arch was destroyed. And I thought, oh, am I a failure? God doesn't want to accept my offering. So I became a bit depressed. I thought that was maybe a sign that what I did was not right or not good enough or whatever. So I was a bit upset about it. But the same year, 2020, I was invited to a webinar by Women Federation Middle East. And they asked me to speak on the role of women in shaping the future of the Middle East. So that was quite interesting. There were women from Lebanon, Palestine, Israel, Turkey, Cyprus, who listened to my talk about my experience in Watford. So as a kind of model of what you can do, the Women Federation was taking it as a model, what they could do in the Middle East. So it was very well received by the women that time. So it was quite amazing. And then in 2022, the Arch, finally, the people in the community came to me and asked, Françoise, where is that arch? There was an arch in the Peace Garden. Why is it not there anymore? And I explained, oh, it was destroyed, this, and then we tried twice to bring it back, it didn't work. So the committee of Watford came together, and they decided they wanted to have the arch back. And they were volunteering in the Peace Garden, young people volunteer, and they raise funds. They make money for our Peace Garden. And the councillor told me, we have to use that money to get the Peace Arch back. And then a man on our committee, on our WIFA committee, said, I can do it. I can build an arch who will be strong enough that nobody will destroy it. So, and that's what happened. Now you can see, look, that big arch compared to that little one there. That was our arch, the original arch. So now we got a big, strong arch in the Peace Garden. So then I thought, oh, maybe, you know what? God thought that my Peace Arch was too small. I need something bigger. Yeah. I thought God wanted to be a bigger, more solid Peace Arch. The world needs something more solid than that little clump sitting there. So now we have that arch in the Peace Garden. It's like, it will be like for many years to come. It's solid, it's stainless steel. So it will not rust. So anyway, I just want to tell you another thing is that now, you know, after the Bridge of Peace, my peace sister, Sharifa, she asked me, Françoise, can you join our multicultural community center? You know, I really want you to come and help us at the community center. And I told her, oh, you know, I'm so busy with other things. I don't think I can take care of a community center. This is a bit too much, you know. But then the year after she insisted and came back. And then I said, okay, I'll do it. So I became a trustee at the Multicultural Community Center. And even a certain year, they elected me as a vice chair. So I was a vice chair of the community center. So you have to deal about bookings, about, you know, fixing toilets or cleaning this or doing that and that. So many things that you have to do. At the beginning, there was a mixture. The trustees were half Christian, half Muslim. But with years passing by, it became more and more Muslim, to the point that I was the only one who was not Muslim there. And Sharifa eventually was not the chair anymore of the community center. So a Muslim man was the chair. And Muslim men are really difficult. They are very bossy, and they really think they're better than anybody else, especially they look down on women. So it was pretty bad. You know, I felt really like a second-class citizen. I guess that's how Muslim women feel. And but still, I kept going, and yeah. And then eventually I came to the point, I told Sharifa, you know, Sharifa, I think I will resign because it's too much. Because they were fighting among each other. You know, one is the boss and the other one wants to be the boss. And it is so much, I could not believe how hard it is. It was. So anyway, and when I see that Sharifa put her head down and she was crying and said, no, François, don't leave us. Please stay, we need you. So I said, okay, I will stay. So I stayed, but eventually I decided to, not long time ago, I decided I resign, it's too much. And then I must say, I was shocked. When I decided that I resign, I received a letter from that Muslim man who was always putting me down and who was so difficult. And this is what I would just want to read the letter because I had tears in my eyes when I read it. She said, Dear Françoise, on behalf of all at the Multicultural Community Center, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks for your many years of dedicated service as a trustee. Your contributions have been numerous and invaluable. from preparing newsletters and designing event posters to covering the office during staff holidays and always being ready for your thoughtful advice and steadfast support. Personally, I'm especially grateful for the guidance and encouragement you have given me in my role as chair of the Development and Management Committee. Your commitment, creativity, and generosity of spirit have left a lasting mark on our community. You will be greatly missed, but we fully understand your decision to devote your energy to other charitable commitments. We wish you and your family all the very best for the future, and we sincerely hope you will keep in touch. With kind regards and warmest wish, sincerely, Khalil Chaudhry. When I read that, I cannot believe it. It looked like another person. I could not believe it. I tears my eyes because he gave me so much hard time. So, and it's true. I never got a penny. I didn't get paid from anything. I took care of the office when the secretary was on holiday for 2 weeks, every year, at least once. And sometimes even I cleaned the toilet and the community center when the caretaker was not there. So I did all this, and I kept going. So eventually, yeah. So that letter was quite a shock for me. Yeah. So our last event was on October the 19th. We had the week of prayer for world peace. This is a multicultural community center. So we had the week of prayer for world peace, and that was a quite amazing experience. That day it was raining. It was pretty bad. But Sharifa called me and she said, "Oh, Françoise, I make samosa and I'm coming." I say, "Sorry, Sharifa, it's raining." She can, now she's over 85 years old, and she cannot walk almost. Then I said, "How do you want to get there? You cannot." I didn't want to say you cannot walk because she's she gets very upset if you say anything like that. So she said, "Oh, Françoise, but I want to come." So I had to find. Then I say, "How can I bring you there?" She said, "I cannot drive my car." My daughter said, "I cannot drive anymore." Then, I need to find a lift, somebody to bring her. "I don't have a car, I only have a bicycle, I cannot bring you." So I had to find somebody but everybody was busy preparing that event. So anyway, eventually I found somebody to bring her to the Peace Garden, to the Cassiopbury Park. So we had to open a gate for her, that lady, to drive inside the park. And then she came with a tray of samosa and an umbrella, and she was determined. She wanted to be there. And she was there. And then I had to find a chair for her because she cannot stand. But she was so determined, and she was so happy to be with us. Amazing. She sang a song, and also the amazing thing is that a Muslim man came, and he's the person that, the one who do the call for prayer at the mosque. Yeah. So I was surprised to see him coming. He was there, and he was standing next to me, and he told me, "Oh, Françoise, look," and he showed me a mobile phone. "I want to sing this song. Can you help me and sing together?" Then I say, "Oh, I had the wrong glasses, so I couldn't see very well." And then he said, "It's a wonderful world." "Oh, okay. Okay. Just start, and we'll see." And he started to sing that song, "It's a Wonderful World," which was quite amazing. Yeah. And I think I can show you the recording.
Green, red roses too, I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. sky is blue, and clouds are white. The bright is day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Isn't that amazing? I would think, a traditional Muslim who uses a prayer for coal at the mosque is a designated person to do that, and he come to the peace guy and he sing that song. I thought he would do a Muslim prayer or something, but it was quite amazing. So anyway, I just want to conclude and asking the question, my relationship with Sharifa was quite very spiritual, I must say. She's following me everywhere, She lost her husband, and she, because I lost my husband, so many times she speaks about her husband. And she had been crying together with me about her husband. And she told me, François, you are the most God-fearing person, better, more fearing than the people in my own community. That's what she told me. So I was really moved. And even the weather is so bad. And what happened? When we came together, the rain stopped. Just at the time we met together, just at the time Sharifa came, the weather got nice. So I wonder what happened there. What is the significance of this? What we did? I thought it would be just something in Watford, but it looked like it went on a national level because we got money from the Home Office directly to us little group in Watford, 3 sisters working together. We get that. Also the Interfaith Network for UK, they publish our Bridge of Peace in their books about women interfaith. And then I was invited in the Middle East to speak on a webinar with a woman from Palestine, from Lebanon, from Israel, Turkey, and Cyprus. So I just wonder what is God? Can God use my offering? What can it help? I don't know. They're still fighting in the Middle East. There's still a lot of trouble. So I just, that's it. So on last Thursday, I went to the community center, and I went to give my key back because I had the key for the community center. So I gave my key back, and I felt, no, I'm closing a chapter. But it doesn't mean I will keep my friendship with the Muslim in Watford, that's for sure. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening.